In this episode of Walking Tours, I will explore how you can transfer between Little India and Jalan Besar MRT stations. On rails, the shortest trip from Little India to Jalan Besar takes at least 15 minutes and an adult fare of up to $1.25. For the umpteenth time, it involves taking the Northeast Line to Chinatown and a transfer to the Downtown Line, though taking the loop around the city is still an option. Now, it is worth noting that Little India isn't the closest stop to Jalan Besar. Their title goes to Rochor, and I already made a video on the walk from that station back in episode 6. The walk followed the main road where plenty of traffic lights are present, even though there is a better option that does not involve walking through traffic lights by going within the narrow streets of Little India. Well, that is exactly what I will be doing in this episode. Spoiler alert, things will get very chaotic very fast. The walking map suggests that this walk will take 10 minutes, probably by the shortest route. That will not be the route I'm taking today, as I make a beeline towards exit C rather than exit E, which is currently not accessible to people who are trying to enter Little India MRT station. Exit C directly leads you into Tekka Center, a complex housing a wet market, hawker center, and various assortment of shops. I will not be entering it today, as I now follow the sidewalk of Racecourse Road. The street grid around this region is incredibly dense, and there are also many alleyways hidden around every corner. Hence, there are many ways for me to head to Jalan Besar MRT station from here. One possible option involves walking along Buffalo Road and a fully pedestrianized Kerbau Lane, which is not what I will be taking today. Now, I pass the partially closed exit E, which I mentioned earlier. You may have already noticed a rather huge Little India bus terminal on the left, used to ferry foreign workers between Little India and their dormitories during the weekends and public holidays. I now turn right into Kerbau Road, and you will notice rather quickly that the sidewalk narrows to unbelievable levels, adjacent to shop houses housing all sorts of trades. I will just foreshadow that this is merely a start. Fortunately, we get a quick briefer from the traffic as I pass a short segment of Kerbau Road, which has been pedestrianized. I will take this opportunity to cross Kerbau Road, and now I'm on the other side. I'm now passing Serangoon Road, which some would call a stroad. This is truly part street and part road. Street because it is a complex environment with plenty of commerce going on, and road because it is a major thoroughfare between the city and the northeast with 50 kilometers per hour traffic all day round. Serangoon Road has been a one-way road since 1972, which does encourage traffic to flow faster, and barriers were erected to discourage jaywalking, though that still happens regularly, resulting in plenty of near misses. So this isn't exactly the safest place to be in. That doesn't necessarily mean that the streets are safer. They are probably even worse than this street-road hybrid, and you will see why I say that once I cross this mildly confusing junction. I'm now walking within the 5-foot ways beneath BC shophouses along Upper Dickson Road. If you couldn't tell by now, this walking route here isn't exactly wheelchair accessible. Alright, now this is where the true chaos starts. I am now reaching a 5-way junction between Upper Dickson Road, Clive Street, Upper Weld Road and Dickson Road. It is at this point where the sidewalk essentially disappears and you pretty much have no choice but to walk on the asphalt and somehow find a way to get to Upper Weld Road. Well, technically there are sidewalks here, but they are like what? 12 inches wide and occupied by various objects, like potted plants and garbage bins and chairs. So good luck walking on that. The walk on the painted asphalt continues, a prominent reminder that I am in a space where I have to be extremely vigilant against traffic. Now I approach the intersection of Upper Weld Road with Calf Road and Kampong Kapor Road. There are plenty of loading and unloading activities that are going on in the vicinity, with plenty of lorries and vans going around, so you must go slow here to avoid being doored. Wow, this sure is confusing. Okay, I think I'm on the right track. The sidewalk isn't exactly widening at this point, so I would just continue walking on top of the asphalt. Honest thoughts here, I would have preferred that more of the streets in Little India are pedestrianized, similar to how it's done in Chinatown or Telok Ayer, featured in episodes 20 and 17 respectively. These narrow spaces aren't designed to be wide enough for vehicles and people to coexist comfortably. After all, What use is a sidewalk if it is difficult for even a single person to stay on it? Now passing Parade Road, at this point, I catch a break amongst the parked vehicles, where I finally have the space to walk, as I take the sidewalk briefly, and then head up into Rowell Court. At this point, the worst part of the walk is behind me. I just have to focus on getting to Jalan Besar, the station, within the next 5 minutes or so, which should be quite easy to do, since I am now approaching Jalan Besar, the road. I have now reached exit B, which is where I enter the station by using the escalators. At this juncture, the fare gates are still some distance away, as I walk along this rather spacious underground passageway, starkly contrasting against the narrow and busy streets that lie on the street level. At 13¼ minutes, I have passed the fare gates, just within the 15 minutes transfer window. The final leg of the journey has thus begun, as I make my way to the platform at basement 4.
Please do not leave your belongings unattended. If you see any suspicious
Finally, we have come to the end of this episode of Walking Tours. This is Transit Evolution, signing off.